We're joined by a very special guest, a very special reoccurring guest, Jamie Phillips. Jamie's been on the podcast. I don't even know how many times at this point, but he 4 seasons professional hockey before going in the goalie coach realm. But glad to have Philly on. Like I know he's up in Michigan right now. So Philly, how's it going?
Things are good, Jack. Thanks for having me on. I think this is what, four or five appearances in
Something
the
like
pod.
that. Yeah, something
That's all
like
right.
that. But it gets better and better every time. So can't complain.
I hope so. I hope so. If it ever gets boring, then definitely just stop having me on.
I will, but it definitely will not get boring at all. Like I know that for a fact. But how's everything going with you? Like your goalie coach, and you said you're moving up to Grand Rapids in a little bit here. So like how's your life going right now?
Life's pretty busy and hectic. So for me, I'm at the end of my didactic school work, so classwork, and I'm heading down to Grand Rapids for the first of my two 14-week clinical rotations. I'll be in a outpatient rehab center. With that, I'm going to be working with Fox Motors AAA. So I'm pretty excited to go now in the more of the minor hockey direction rather than collegiate hockey. So with that, really, it's just a lot of continuing to build the goalies. I'm my elite goalie method, which is kind of a remote program. It's been actually growing. It's been booming like crazy. So continue with that. Continue helping those goalies. We're looking to add in a few more come the start of the season. Right now, it's pretty full. So I'm just kind of let it die down a little bit and graduate some athletes before we let in some new ones. Keep coaching. I'm going out to Austin, Texas at the end, or not this weekend, next weekend. I'm going to be doing the GGSU Legends Camp. Haven't done that in a few years. And then I'm out to Finland for a week, putting on a mini camp with my goalie partner, Max Vernon. And then I've never been to any of the Nordic countries, so I'm going to check it out and go on some adventures. But it's a really, really busy summer. And then going down to Grand Rapids and hopefully start coaching right away. Depends on what the team schedules are and maybe get some private sessions in. But yeah, things are good. Things are good, man. I appreciate the having me on.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad everything's going and that you're going to Grand Rapids to work with like the AAA program and the youth program over there. So like what so like how excited are you to get that opportunity to go from like the past couple of years you're at college at Michigan Tech and then going into the youth program to develop a youth program?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, once I knew that I was going to be in Grand Rapids, I reached out to the guys there and I had a few like references, people I knew to kind of vouch and for me, and I drove all the way down. So I drove the 8 hours for like a quick hour little interview, talk about just introduce myself. I felt like that was way better than doing that on Zoom, and I've really appreciated my time at Michigan Tech. It's unfortunate now that they're allowing paid coaches the year that I'm leaving, but it is what it is. So unfortunately, school comes first, and I have a year left, and I have to finish that out. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be back at Michigan Tech, but honestly, right now, I'm excited to mold goalies more and have a little bit more of influence. For the most part, when you get a guy, in junior A or college, they've had goalie coaches growing up. They've found their style. That they're starting to become the elites of the elite, and it's really just fine tuning certain things and finding different like specific things that you need to adjust. Whereas with minor hockey players, it's like I get to mold them into the way that I see best for their game, and I get a lot more of an influence on that. And hopefully, I get to see a lot of these goalies come from young age, whether that's U12 all the way up to U18 and the juniors over the next so many years. And that's really what I'm excited for because that's the rewarding part because you can really influence a young man or woman's like not only their game but their life and get them to hopefully the highest level possible that they can play.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think it'll be a little bit of a challenge since coming from college, since like you said, like guys have their goalie coaches that they've worked with for years, and you're coming in and hopefully molding these young kids game.
I don't think it'll be a challenge. It'll just be a learning curve. This summer, actually going back into probably January, I started coaching a lot more younger kids in my local area. and that's been really rewarding. A lot of them haven't had like full-time goalie coaches because there really isn't any up here, or at least yet. I have one guy who's working alongside me, Marcus Gloss, who's hopefully going to continue in terms of what we put together. And Gloss Goaltending, I know he hasn't like really launched it, so that's a little brief shout out until when he does. But so I don't think it's going to be challenging. I think I'm a big believer in working alongside someone's goalie coaches. They have that, and hopefully a lot of the goalies and their parents like me, and they like the way I approach, and they want to continue working with me full time. And that's ultimately my goal. I mean, I'm never going to pressure anyone doing that. I try to let my actions speak for themselves, but ultimately, like if I can just have, if one goalie learns one thing from me, then it's totally worth it. And I'm a big believer in that for all goalies, that you try to find something or take away something from each goalie coach, because everyone's going to see your game different. Everyone sees the game different, and it's all going to come together and work together. And for the most part, every goalie coach just wants the best for the goalie in front of them.
Yeah, I like that. Like the different like perspectives with the different goalie coaches, and how they see the game, how you see the game, and like just to pick that one or two different things to help put into someone else's game, whether that be like track, like a new way to track, a new way to to stop that puck, whatever it may be, and just to see how it develops and how these kids like react to the different coaching at the different styles of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess like it's one of those ones where kind of cross that bridge when we get there. I'm hoping to get to know my goalies a little bit before the start of the season. There's four main teams that I'm be working with, and then among the association or a surrounding area, if anyone wants to like skate and stuff, then do that separately. But I'm in charge of eight main goalies. So it'd be six males and two female goalies for now. So I'm excited to see what do I have in front of me? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What can we build upon, and what can we continue to grow? And it's one of those things that is sort of going a little bit blind. Not as at this moment. Once I get in Grand Rapids at the end or the mid August, then it will be a little bit. I'll get the introduction to meet everyone, and I'm excited for it. It's just new things, and honestly, any way that I can coach goalies, whether that's on the ice, off the ice, in the gym, and then hopefully, and then in the future, in like in the rehabilitation and the clinic, I'm just happy to be there.
Yeah, that's an exciting time with all the clinics coming up, the goalie coaching, and like the new atmosphere in Grand Rapids. But like you said, like you this in January was like the first time you took on like younger kids for the first time in in a long time. So like, what were some of like the biggest things you noticed helping little kids compared to like what you did with your junior and college guys?
It ranges. Well, I mean, it's the same as it would be for anything when you have younger kids. You got to find different ways to motivate, different ways to maintain attention. I think that's a big one, and it's really important that like my baseline coaching style might not be the same, isn't the same for everybody. And I think that's good that I've been coaching kids as young as 9 all the way up to older kids that are getting drafted in the null and like gonna go play junior, and of course like my current guys that are going NHL camps. It just depends on their age. Like sometimes with my kids that are 9, like you in order to get like a teaching point across, if they're doing something poorly, you're not gonna rip them apart, but instead you can try to make a joke out of it. Like if they're having if they can't catch in their glove and you're just saucing them at their glove, you gotta be like, hey, is your glove broken? Is there a trampoline in your
Is there
glove?
a
The puck's
hole?
just
Is there a
bouncing
hole in
out.
your glove?
Yeah, and you just got to get them to laugh, and then they could be like, "Okay," so and they laugh. Like, "Hey, when you catch, like, try to catch it in the pocket." And like that's a good way to kind of get them and to motivate them, and just like different things like that. I think it's also really important too. I think it's good because like, especially for my sense, like I guess like what I consider myself is like I kind of consider myself like a goalie performance coach, in terms of like qualifications and experience and education. Like I'm at the top tier in terms of what like I played at a high level. I'm going to be I have a doctorate degree in rehab, and I have like masters of science and all these things and certifications, and not as many people have that. And so I'm able to kind of integrate everything into one. The way that we're taught in PT school to like analyze the body, analyze movement, and speak to patients, whether they're patients that are in like pediatrics or geriatrics. it all comes full circle because ultimately physical therapy is a lot of coaching. You're coaching the person just the same way you develop that relationship with a person who's coming back from injury, the same way that you develop, with an athlete. And so I'm glad that all of these come full circle, and I'm excited to, hopefully in the next year and in 2 years to put it all like in together in one brick and mortar location, and really like, take off and dominate and create some really high end athletes over the next, well, forever, I guess, as long as I'm alive and as long as I can continue to stand on skates.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like it's really cool to like see like everyone's everyone's like perspective from the goalie coaching realm of side of things, especially since like I started goalie coaching like over the past year, and like the younger kids can be hard to like have like their attention, because obviously their attention spans lower than all of the rest of us. But like I've definitely learned a lot through that, but it's also like it also still poses a challenge because like all these different kids are like, you don't know what their attention spans are. You got to learn from that, and then like you got to learn how to have them stay in control and stay focused for like that time that you're trying to teach them and trying to see or show them what you want them to do and what they're doing.
Yeah, I often, when I explain it to people, I say it's like you're trying to trick your kids into eating vegetables. You gotta hide the healthy part in something sweet, and just like you have to hide the hard work into
Yeah.
something fun. And so for me, like in part of my philosophy, it goes back just I want all my goalies to be really good skaters. I wasn't the best skater, like in terms of pro level. I was probably a little bit below average. Um, so I don't want I want all my goalies to rely on other things. I want them to have that huge foundation of just being great skaters, and I want them to start from a young age. So when I'm designing a drill for little kids, like little kids just want to stop pucks,
Yeah.
and but ultimately don't really need just that many shots. They need more skating. So you got to make sure that they're doing a lot of skating leading up to their shot. Like the hard work ends with a reward. Whereas like you get a college guy, you can just be like, hey, I want you to step out and make this save, because they can already skate, and you can fine tune skating specifically to the side. Where the kids, like, I'm not gonna have, like, the longest I can ever power skate a kid is like 15 to 30 minutes, or else they're gonna
Yeah.
just like whine and complain. And I get that. Like I whined and complained when I was old, when I was like in my 20s and I power skated, but probably why I wasn't good skater. But that's the way that I like to do is you gotta hide it. You gotta find ways. You gotta teach. The way you teach a 9-year-old is not going to be the same way you teach a 20-year-old, and that's just the reality of it. And one of the things I do is I work with a lot of men's league goalies, especially like remotely. And it's funny because there's a lot of similarities, not between like the mentality between men's league adults and children, but in terms of skill set. Because you have men and young athletes are just starting at the same place. They're new to goaltending, so they're new to skill development. There's new to motor patterns, and a lot of these things, a lot of the same ways that I coach young athletes is the same way that I coach the leagues goalies or the beginner goalies. And obviously, development happens a little quicker depending. But it's really cool because I can kind of get the best of both worlds when I teach that way, because I do work in both, and I know there's not a lot of goalie coaches out there that specifically work with men's league goalies because they're not going to the NHL. So a lot of times it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to have all this ice and all this stuff, I want that to go to my younger guys, and I get that.
Yeah.
But that's been a kind of a niche and an avenue that I've really enjoyed, and I'm excited again to get out to Texas and meet some new goalies and work for them, and hopefully maybe some of them jump on the program and join the ladies and gentlemen that we have that are just honestly kicking butt right now, getting really good.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially like since like as goalies we want to like separate ourselves from the competition just by adding like the men's league goalies into your like philosophy and into your toolbox, like that like makes you stand out even more than compared to these guys who are just going for which makes sense, like you said, to go for like the guys that are going pursuing a high level instead of just men's league or like stuff like that. But it's like it's good to get that separation and like teach goalies all around, no matter what their experience or where they plan to go.
Yeah, and I don't see. I guess I don't mean to be like rude to other goalie coach. I get it, and honestly, there
Yeah.
might be a time in the future where like my bandwidth is like only so long where I can be like, okay, like I gotta, maybe in the men's league goalies, we're just gonna run a camp or something. But for right now, like I'm really enjoying the heck out of it. They love it. They're dialed in. They're more dialed than some of my young guys, to be honest with you. And like I just love that passion and intensity,
Yeah.
and that's what I look for. Is like as a coach, you just want to coach people that want to work hard and want to get better. And for me, right now, it just really doesn't matter where in the world or what level you're at. Like, if I can get you a little bit better, totally worth it.
Yeah, so that's all that matters, just those that you just wanna get better and make the most of everything, and get to wherever you want, no matter the level.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, but, you also have the elite goalie method like you talked about, so you wanna touch on that and, like, you shout it out a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate the shout out time. So really what it is, it's a remote training program for goalies or for I guess young goalies, the prospects I call them, and then my legends, my adult league. And the programs are very similar, just the way that I coach and the different workouts and training are going to differ depending on the goalie's age. But essentially what that is, it's like training, mobility, nutrition, edge work, video breakdowns, live Zoom sessions. I have two mental coaches on board, one for more mental health, one for more sports performance. I'm starting to look at bringing in more and more guests, and it's taking everything that I do. So strength training, a little bit of the physio, like the goalie coaching, the nutrition, everything that I excel at, and putting it in one program. The kind of program that like I created it as like what did I want when I was a young age? And I worked with, another goalie coach who had a similar program, and I really liked it. There was a few things I was like, I kind of want to tweak these, and I want to like kind of do my own. And he went a different direction with a different business, and he's doing really well. And I was like, okay, like I want to do this my way. And so I put it together, and right now, like the goalies that have been in it have been doing really well. We got a bunch of guys signing junior A contracts. Um, we got some younger guys that are getting a lot of USHL looks. You got guys that are getting drafted to the Null. Um, I'm excited I'm excited this season, and we got guys from all over the world. We got guys in Norway. We're getting another guy signing up next weekend from England, and it's just a great program. And I mean, obviously, I think it's a great program, and the thing is, it's continually evolving. I think that's the biggest part. Is like today, I hopped on the ice, like I put on like my half body, and I record like my lessons and things that are specific to what each goalie has. So every time we do like a live group session, um, say someone's having a problem extending their leg in a certain situation, I'll go out and film like this is how you approach it, this is why we need to do it. And so you get that feedback, and you can have that, and you can have that saved. And for the men's league, or the adult leagues program, it's the exact same, except the workouts are more designed for like longevity and that kind of stuff, because they're getting older, and I want my goalies to be able to play into their 50s, 60s, and 70s rather than just feel like me and just be old and broken. Um, I want them to take care of their bodies, and it's very similar in terms of the style and the coaching. They are separate in terms of like video breakdowns and stuff. The only time they maybe integrate is whenever we have guest speakers, and then that way everyone all comes together at once. But um, yeah, it's a really cool program, and I guess like the EGM, I like it. It's like elite goalie method. I like the word. It's more of like a mentorship, to be honest. Like I'm on the phone with these guys a lot. I'm on the phone with the parents a lot, just like helping them navigate through the hockey journey, because it's hard, and you can never have too many people in your corner.
Yeah.
And I kept with the word method because I just like the scientific method, but I think that's kind of going to be like the EGM is just going to be like my goalie kind of brand from now on. I don't think I'm going to change it to like Phillips Goaltending or anything like that. I pay a lot of money for my logos, so I'm just going to keep them at this point.
Yeah, you might as well keep them, and, if it's not broke, don't fix it, exactly right?
Yeah, and I mean I've rebranded my like nutrition and training stuff so many times, and now I'm at Phillips Sports Performance, which I love. EGM is like a part of that. And then eventually, I'm not really sure. Eventually, once I settle and get like a brick and mortar facility, I'm probably going to have to do a whole nother rebrand again, unless I want to call it Phillips Sports Performance. I don't know. We'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But right now, I really like the EGM. It flows well off the tongue. The jerseys that my goalies get look really good. it's cool to see like I'm excited to see like when I go to Finland, all these guys just rocking my jersey and stuff. It's great. Like, I mean, I feel like a proud father. It's just like, hey, I built this and like I'm helping like you guys. Like I love to see it, and I always like make sure I take pictures of my goalies whenever they're wearing it. And like I don't know, I just like what I do. I like what I do a lot, and I'm glad that other people are able to find value in that.
I love the passion, everything that just you're wanting to help people get better, and just by creating programs that help that like when you were playing pro, like that's some of the things that you did, and you're just giving back to the game and giving back to everyone. Like it's like you said, like having everyone in your, it doesn't matter how many people you have in your corner, like it really helps your game and the mental side of things, because as goalies, like it's a lonely position for sure. So like you just gotta, like when you have that support and everything, it makes everything go by a lot easier in the journey and the grind, because it definitely is a grind, but if you make it fun, you have that support, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I had great support too growing up. Like my goalie coach, Derek Bujan, was like he's kind of like everything that I strive to be in terms of how I treat my goalies and I build my goalies. And so if I can even have half the influence that he had on me for the way that I have on these goalies, then I'm going to be really happy with it. And I'm glad. Sometimes the guys call me after a game and crying because they got pulled, and it's hard, and I get that. Like I've been on the phone on the other side crying because I got pulled. Like I know what that's like, and it's not even like in minor hockey. Like that's like in junior and in pro, like being frustrated and stuff. So I'm I'm glad to be there. I'm glad to kind of be like a stable rock for all of them, and I'm very very proud of all the athletes having the program and just the work that they're willing to put in and the trust they put in with me.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear and everything. And I want to get on to Finland a little bit here. Like you said, like it's your first like time going to the Nordic country and all that. It's like how excited are you to go to Finland and experience like the different culture, and then put on a goalie camp there as well?
Yeah, really excited. So Max Veranen, he's one of my goalies here at Tech, and he's just like, hey, like I asked him, I was like, what's your plan this summer? He's skating. He's like, why don't you come out to Finland? I was like, yeah, whatever. And then eventually I was like, hey, like why don't I just go? Like go. I can coach Max, I can do everything. And I was like, hey, like let's put on a camp. I mean, one of my goalies is from Norway. I was like, hey, like he's quicker flight than flying over to Canada to skate with me, or the States to skate with me. Like, let's put on a camp. Let's see if we can get into it. And so it's a 3 day camp, like 5 ice sessions, like presentation, gym, like food. It's just like it's a true camp, and we got a lot of goalies coming, and I'm fired up for it just because like I just love, like I said, I just love coaching. And then in terms of the kind of the new culture, yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad I have someone there that speaks Finnish to help me out. I'm not really sure what my plans are going to be for after the camp. I might just hop on a train and go somewhere north. One thing that popped in my brain was I was thinking about reaching out to some other goalie coaches around like the Liga, and maybe just crashing on some couches and like being able to hop on some ice and learn. I'm gonna probably try and set that up. I think that would be really cool. But I just like travel. I like traveling, like experiencing new things, eating new foods, hopefully getting a sauna or something, maybe go get some tattoos or something from someone in Finland, just the little mementos. And yeah, I can't wait. And the camp part too, I'm really, really fired up to be able to do that and coach a whole different crop of goalies that I might not normally get to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. You just gotta go have fun. Like you're coaching over there, you're experiencing a different culture. Like that's it's the best to just get out of your comfort zone, get out to somewhere where you haven't been, and just honestly just go out and explore.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus. The camp is right away when I get in there. So do the camp, crush it, meet some goalies, like help some goalies out, coach, do well, coach Max. And then from there, it's kind of just, and then turns into an actual vacation that, to be honest, I need a vacation from school and work. So I'm excited that I'm able to tie the two of them up together. And I've heard Finland is just beautiful, and especially in the summer. So I cannot wait. Apparently, it is the happiest country on earth. So I'm excited to find out why.
So that's a fun fact of the day right there.
Yeah, fun fact of the day. I found that out yesterday.
When was your last vacation before this one?
That's a good question. So I went to Greenville, South Carolina over Christmas break to visit my girlfriend's family. Um, Although I did work a little too much, so it wasn't much of a vacation this time around. I'm like there's going to be a hard work stop, where I'm just going to let my brain decompress. The thing is, the problem is like I love coaching, and coaching is work.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's hard for me to step away from coaching, although sometimes I do need to. So I haven't had like a true vacation in a while, especially not since I started the EGM program. Um, but yeah, it'll be good to just get a couple days, and then and then like I go stir crazy if I got nothing to do. So I know after like a 4 or 5 day decompression, especially hit some saunas and maybe an ice bath, and then I gotta get back to work.
Yeah, I gotta love going to the saunas and everything. Like every workout I do, like I go in that right after, and it's the best.
Yeah, I just need to have a true Finnish sauna experience just to say I did. It's like one of those bucket
Yeah,
list things. It's like, you ever been to a sauna? Yeah, I have. You ever been to one in Finland? Like, oh,
no,
that's pretty cool.
now you will.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like you were saying earlier, you said that you put on your bottom pads on when I remember you said in a video that was the first time you put pads on in 3 years, and it seems like you're doing it pretty often now. Like, how you liking it?
So I do it only to record drills and skating patterns and lessons for my goalies this time. Still no desire to stop pucks. Actually, sometimes I get it, and then I see the goalies get hit in the face. I'm like, I don't like that anymore. You know what? I'm actually surprised at like how good my body feels, which might be a testament to my training program. So huge, shameless plug. But how like my body feels good, my skating feels good, and I know that I would not be the goalie that I was, but it's nice to know that like I could still move the way that I like to move, and do those kind of things. And one thing I was actually telling one of my younger goalies, because we were working on a toe lock on an RVH, and he was missing it, and I was like, man, it's like I haven't played hockey in 3 years, and when I put my pads on, I can hit my toe lock 99% of the time. It's like it just takes time and practice.
Yeah,
Like that's why we're working on it. You will get it, and you will get to that point. So don't get frustrated. Just continue to have that trial and error. And I was like, even today, I was doing something with I was talking about when do you push to the post and when do you push outside the post. That was my lesson. And I pushed to the post, and she was like, I was like, I impressed myself too. And I was like, the guy's gonna be like, yeah, I still got it. But then I figured like if someone actually shot a puck at me, it would be so eye tracking would probably be so bad.
you think you could still play if besides tracking and everything, you think you can still play?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I gave myself like 4 or 5 months of true like training, I could probably make a comeback. I probably play like low level in Europe. I don't know, maybe East Coast. I don't think I could play any higher than that at this point. I don't. It depends. If I won the $1 billion lottery the other day, then maybe I would make it a comeback. But I really like the thing is I'm happy with what I do,
Yeah,
and I left when I retired from the game. I was not happy at the game of hockey, and I've come to this point where now at the coach, like goalie coach training, like the goalie performance coach, I guess is probably the easiest way to say it. I think that is what really truly makes me happy, and I don't want to sacrifice that
yeah,
kind of that passion and intensity I have for it. And that way, like, the problem is when, for, because you're pushing the pro dream as well, is like when you're grinding so hard, it becomes all about you. Like,
yeah,
what do I need to do to get better? What do I like? How can I get better? And I'm at this point where like, how can I get other people better? Like I can take my time in the gym. I just front squat and clean and do Olympic lifts because I enjoy that, and that's what I want to get better at. But everything else in hockey wise, how can I learn? How can I tweak this? How can I take that to make others better, make my goalies better? If I read something in a book, I'm like, oh, frig, like that's so and so needs this. I write it down and I record it.
yeah,
That's kind of where I'm at. And but like leading up to this point, like a lot of the things that I know and the certifications I have was because I wanted them for myself. So I wanted to be better. And I'm glad that I can start to, teach and give that knowledge and expertise, to my goalies.
yeah. So you're giving back to the game and giving it everything. you have to give back to them. Whereas like you said, like I agree, like it becomes like you, like what can, like you said, what can I do to get better? Like do I have to skate more to become a better skater, stuff like that. And it is completely true, and I understand that. And when you're on that grind to actually go achieve your dreams, like everything just comes to you.
Yeah, I actually thought it's funny you say that because I thought today I was like, if I ever had the opportunity to do some sort of like physio or strength conditioning, like learning or internship in Australia because they're really really big in sports science down there. I was like, I maybe consider playing in the Australian Pro League or even like New Zealand Pro League if I could tie it in with like school
Yeah.
somehow and like work somehow. To like further my education to get like, you know, whether it be like some sort of manual certification or acupuncture or whatever. If I could tie that in, it's like, hey, it's a huge excuse, you know, probably it would break even in terms of cost. And that, so for me, like I actually would consider that. But I think that that would be the only thing. And like I said, unless I won the lottery and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go sign in the France fourth league somewhere in like the south of France on a beach and just play for fun and make funny TikTok videos.
Hey, that would be pretty cool for sure. But since we're on like the topic of overseas, like you played professionally overseas, like what were some of the best places that you played?
Well, I actually just played in the English league. I only played in the English league, and I loved it there. Um, really good people. I wish the things I kind of like I got the things didn't work out with the organization I was in. We were kind of grinding and got fired. Well, I wasn't playing great, I wasn't playing bad, but it's one of those things where you can just save a lot of money by cutting your goalie, which sucks. But I really, really loved the culture there. I tell everyone, I was like, so if I could just take what I do and have put it anywhere in the world, it would be in just like the English countryside. Just so beautiful. The people are so nice. But you know what? I'm excited to start to. I'm hoping to get more opportunities to coach alongside other coaches in different camps in Europe. Well, I don't necessarily need to put them on myself, but you know, if there's a coach in Sweden that's like, "Hey, Jamie, like we'll fly you out and come coach with us for a week." Uh, yes, I'm in. Like that's just I'm in, or like I don't care, like I'm in. Like I just wanted to be able to have those opportunities and learn from other coaches and have other coaches learn from me and continue to grow and just have those experience and like understand like what's it like for you know someone else Svenskin or someone in the Swiss league or that kind of stuff. So yeah, like, I'm an open book and I've been getting more and more invites to different camps. Not yet in Europe, which is unfortunate, but hopefully soon, and especially as I continue to grow as terms of a coaching professional.
Yeah, that's unreal. And like there's so many great places overseas in Europe, and just being where you were, because you're in Coventry, so like I've heard the places around there fantastic. And then just to be able to experience and hopefully go coach somewhere around there, like you said, in Liga and stuff like that. Like I want to wish you all the best with that. And like just like that would just be an unreal experience for you to just experience that part of the goalie coaching realm and everything like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And hopefully one of the goals in the future is to do like seminars, especially on like performance side for like
Yeah.
coaches, strength coaches, physios in terms of like how do you manage and treat athlete injuries. So like once I have that expertise in my back pocket, hopefully be able to do those globally and just again have those opportunities to learn and meet and teach and educate because I love that part of it.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you before we wrap things up here. From the Instagram Q&A, the most frequently asked question was, "Are goalies weird?" What is your answer there?
Yes, I think all goalies are weird to a degree. I know some are a little more weird than the others. But also like I think people are weird in general, and there's a lot of really weird players out there. I think to be a goalie, you have to be a little weird to want to get hit in the face with pucks and also to have that pressure and responsibility. But I think being slightly weird or odd is what, allows goalies to thrive and to always continually grow. Because if we were just boring and normal, it just wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, I don't think us goalies would be I think we'd be players then if we weren't a little bit strange or anything like that, because we're facing pucks that are shot at most 100 miles per hour, and pucks are hitting us in the face, hitting us literally everywhere. So we have to be some sort of weird to put the pads on like that. But it's the best position in hockey and in sports.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree any more to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But throughout this episode, like we talked goalie coaching, we talked elite goalie method, we talked your trips to Finland, and like your future plans for your goalie coaching, and your some pro like stories from like Europe as well. Like can we hear one more pro story from, whether it be like from your time in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the coast, or overseas?
I guess it depends like what you want to hear. It's hard for me to just like rip one off the top of my head.
Oh, let's hear, because I know we talked about your Anders Lindback scrap on the podcast before. So you want to talk about like your draft story and all that?
Yeah, so my draft wasn't super exciting. I was added to the draft list really late, just towards the end of the season because I was playing really well on a new team, and just happened to be someone from NHL Central Scouting was there, and yeah, I Winnipeg was the only team that called me. They asked if I was going to the draft. I don't remember where it was. It was like Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or something. I think it was Pittsburgh. And I said, no. Do you want me to come? And they're like, no, you don't. You don't have to go. And so I was at home, and I actually went to skate at On Ice Hockey Performance Center that day, and I was checking the draft online, and nothing. Eventually, like the fourth or fifth round came, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go home, and went home, and my buddy called me and said I got drafted, and I was like, I was like kind of guy that would joke around. I was like, that's
Are
messed
you
up, man. Why
serious?
would you say that? And he's like, no, like seriously. And so I kept pressing refresh, and it didn't show up on my computer. But I guess there was a delay between the TV and the computer, and then eventually my name popped up. So the last round, Winnipeg Jets, and the rest is history. And I know I've been vocal about how like getting drafted isn't great, especially when you're in college, but it is a really cool thing, and I think it's an achievement that not many people are able to get.
Yeah, at least you're able to get drafted to an NHL team in a great city like Winnipeg, in the Winnipeg Jets. And like your story went off from there. You went to the AHL, played in the coast, played overseas, and you got a cup of coffee in the show as well, right?
Yeah. So a couple call ups, nothing, no minutes, not even 1 second. I wish I just had 1 second, but maybe one day is an e-bug. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, who that would be pretty cool to get at least a second on NHL ice and put that on your elite prospects there.
Yeah, that's all that matters, is that I can just tell people that I am an NHL goalie.
Oh yeah, you're an NHL goalie in my books though.
Hey, I appreciate that. I got called
Yeah,
up. I got
that's what
I got the pay,
matters.
I got
That's what counts.
the pay slips for like 3 days, so I have the receipts.
Hey, you had that cup of coffee in Winnipeg. That's all that really matters, and your name is on a Winnipeg Jets roster.
That's true. Very, very true.
Yeah, but Philly, I don't want to keep you much longer, but thank you again for coming on. Like every single time you come on, you're always a blast to have on. I want to wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors, with moving to Grand Rapids, going to coach in Finland, with your Michigan Tech goalie, and with your Michigan Tech goalie Max, just going to GGSU. Like I want to wish you the best of luck with everything there.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. And like I said, you can have me on anytime.